The phone rang at 12:47 p.m. I know the exact time because I'd just finished explaining profit margins to a room full of people who thought I had everything under control. 15 board members, a glass table, PowerPoint slides glowing behind me. My phone vibrated once against the table. I ignored it, then it vibrated again. Something in my chest tightened. I stepped out into the hallway and answered. "Mrs. Brennan," the man said, his voice too careful. "This is Principal Hoffman from Westfield Elementary. You need to come to the school immediately. There's been an incident involving Emma." My mouth went dry. "Is my daughter hurt?" There was a pause, a dangerous pause. "She's physically unharmed," he said finally, "but she's extremely distressed. Please come now. We'll explain when you arrive." I didn't argue. I didn't ask more questions. I walked back into the conference room, grabbed my bag, and left. 15 executives stared at my empty chair. I didn't look back. The drive normally took 20 minutes. I made it in 10. I don't remember red lights. I don't remember traffic. I remember my hands shaking on the steering wheel and one thought repeating in my head like a drumbeat. Please be okay. Please be okay. The moment I pushed through the school's front doors, I heard her, not crying, screaming, a raw, primal sound that didn't belong in a child's body. The kind of scream that comes from fear, not pain. From something being taken. I ran past the secretary, down the hall, straight into the nurse's office. Emma was curled up on the cot, shaking. A towel was wrapped around her head. When she saw me, she launched herself into my arms so hard it knocked the air out of me. "Mommy," she sobbed. "She cut it all off. She cut all my hair." My hands trembled as I lifted the towel. I gasped. Her hair, her beautiful auburn hair she'd grown since kindergarten, was gone. Not trimmed, not shortened, destroyed, jagged chunks missing. Bald patches scraped down to the scalp. Uneven, brutal cuts, like someone had attacked her with garden shears. My stomach dropped. "Who did this?" I asked quietly. Principal Hoffman cleared his throat. "There's been a situation. Your sister." "Aunt Jessica," Emma cried. "She did it. She said I stole Lily's part. She held me down." The room tilted. My sister, Jessica, a teacher at this very school. Her daughter Lily, Emma's cousin, was in the same class. They had both auditioned for Alice in Wonderland. Emma got Alice. "Where is she?" I said, standing slowly. "Mrs. Brennan, please sit." "Where is my sister?" "She's in my office," he said, "with the superintendent and the police." Good, because if she was standing in front of me, I don't know what I would have done. Jessica had called Emma out of lunch, claiming she needed to discuss a missed assignment, locked the classroom door, took scissors from the art room. "The big ones," Emma whispered. She said Lily deserved it more. She said I only got it because I'm pretty. She said if I wasn't pretty anymore, they'd have to give the part to Lily. I took photos, every angle, every cut. Then I called my husband. "Call Morrison," I said. "Now. Then get here." By the end of the hour, statements were taken. Jessica was escorted out in handcuffs, suspended immediately, but the damage was already carved into my daughter's head. We went straight to my hairdresser. Maria nearly cried when she saw Emma. "Oh, sweetheart," she whispered. "We'll fix this, I promise." She did what she could. The result was a pixie cut. Cute, brave, but nothing like what Emma had loved. Emma stared at herself in the mirror. "I can't be Alice now," she whispered. "Alice has long hair." That's when my phone rang. "How dare you have Jessica arrested?" my mother screamed. "She assaulted my child." "She cut hair," Mom snapped. "Hair grows back." "She held down an 8-year-old with scissors." "You've been flaunting Emma's success," Dad said. "Lily worked harder. Normal people don't attack children." Now, Emma knows how Lily felt, Mom said smugly. Opportunities don't come twice. Hair does. I hung up. They had no idea what I was about to do. They thought it would end there. They thought a few phone calls, a little family pressure, and time would smooth everything over. They thought I'd calm down, that I'd remember blood is thicker than water. They were wrong. That night, after Emma finally fell asleep, her small hand clutching the edge of her pillow like she was afraid something else might be taken from her, I sat at the kitchen table and opened my laptop. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I documented. I called the district attorney first thing in the morning. Assault on a minor, I said clearly. False imprisonment. Child endangerment. Abuse of authority. The prosecutor went quiet, then said, "We'll move forward immediately." But the legal route wasn't enough. Justice on paper wouldn't undo what was already done, so I started digging. Jessica hadn't just snapped. People don't suddenly become monsters. They practice first. Emails surfaced, messages between Jessica and teachers requesting special consideration for Lily, extra rehearsal slots, advance audition information, quiet reminders about judges' preferences. Parents began calling me after the story leaked. One mother told me her son had beaten Lily in a spelling bee 2 years earlier. The very next day, he'd had a mysterious playground accident. Broken wrist, no regionals. Another parent told me her daughter's art portfolio vanished after winning over Lily. Jessica had keys to the art room. Another said their child had suddenly been pulled from drama club by Jessica right before auditions. It wasn't jealousy, it was strategy. By the time the school board meeting arrived, I had a file thick enough to break a desk. The auditorium was packed. Parents stood along the walls. Reporters filled the back rows. Cameras pointed forward. I stood at the podium with Emma beside me. She didn't hide her pixie cut. She didn't need to. "My daughter is not the first child harmed by Jessica Thornton," I said steadily. "She's simply the one whose mother refused to stay quiet." I laid everything out. The emails, the footage, the testimonies, the pattern. You could hear people breathing. My parents tried to speak. "This is a family issue," my mother said, her voice trembling. "It's being blown out of proportion." "Children's hair gets cut all the time, yeah?" my father added. "By hairdressers," someone shouted, "not teachers with locked doors." The board didn't hesitate. Jessica was terminated effective immediately, banned from school property, referred for criminal prosecution, her teaching license flagged for permanent review. But my parents weren't finished. That night they came to my house with Jessica and Lily. "She's lost everything," my mother said, gesturing to my sister, who looked hollow and small. "Good," I said. Lily stood silently near the door, eyes fixed on the floor. Then she spoke. "I didn't want the part that way." Everyone turned. "I wanted to earn it," Lily whispered. "Mom always fixes things. That's why nobody likes me. That's why I don't have friends." Jessica broke down. "I was helping you." "You were cheating for me," Lily said, "and now everyone knows." The truth hung heavy. "You need to leave," my husband said firmly. "Now." The trial came fast. Assault on a minor under colour of authority. Probation. Mandatory counselling. Permanent loss of teaching credentials. The civil suit covered Emma's therapy and more, but the real justice came from Emma herself. The director kept her as Alice. "Alice changes in Wonderland," she said gently. "Your hair fits the story perfectly." Opening night, Emma owned the stage. Her pixie cut shimmered under the lights. Her voice was strong, her smile unbreakable. 6 months later, I ran into Lily at a grocery store with her father, Jessica's ex-husband, full custody. "How's Emma?" Lily asked softly. "She's great. How are you?" "Better?" she said. "I'm at a new school. I got a small part. I earned it." Her father mouthed, "Thank you." Watching Emma now, confident, laughing, her hair slowly growing back, I know I'd do it all again. I didn't destroy my family. I protected my child. Because real mothers don't excuse abuse. We don't sacrifice our children for peace. We don't stay silent for the sake of family. We fight, we protect, we choose our children. Always. 6 months had passed since that day. Emma's pixie cut had grown slightly, but every strand reminded her, and me, of the battle we'd survived. She walked into school confidently now, backpack straight, head high. I could see her trust returning, brick by brick. But the memories were still there, hidden behind her eyes, silent but strong. I thought about Jessica, about my parents, about Lily. None of them understood the cost of entitlement. None of them understood what it meant to weaponize your position against a child. I reminded myself, we can't control the actions of others, only our response. Emma's first rehearsal back for the next play was magical. The director whispered to me, "She's different, stronger. She owns the stage now." Watching her perform, I realized the fight wasn't just about hair or a school role. It was about teaching her that people who hurt you, even family, do not deserve your trust. That night, I tucked her in. She whispered, "Mom, thank you for fighting." I kissed her forehead. "I'll always fight for you." And that's the truth. Being a mother isn't always gentle. Sometimes it's loud, sometimes it's fierce, but it is never optional.